Born in Cincinnati, Ohio on May 18, 1915, John R. Fox grew up in Ohio before attending Wilberforce University, an African-American college located in a town of the same name. He met his future wife, Arlene, there while he studied biology and science. The couple moved to Brockton, Massachusetts after getting married, where they had a daughter called Sandra. At the age of 26, Fox joined the U.S. Army in February of 1941 and graduated from infantry school at Fort Benning, Georgia in August, not long before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December of that year. This famous event is what, of course, forced the United States into World War II. 3.5 years later, in December of 1944, Lieutenant Fox found himself working as a forward operator with the Cannon Company of the 366th Infantry Regiment, the 92nd Infantry Division. He was stationed with his unit in the town of Somma-Colonia, Italy, when German soldiers disguised as civilians snuck into the town on Christmas Day. The German attack from the outside began at 4 a.m. on the morning of December the 26th. As for the enemy soldiers who'd infiltrated the town the day before, they bolstered the attack, and combined the two groups managed to quickly overwhelm the American soldiers. However, when the outnumbered American soldiers began their hasty retreat, Lieutenant Fox volunteered, along with a few Italian soldiers, to remain behind as eyes and ears in the town. Fox's job was to direct the artillery stationed outside of the town against the German troops, with the hope that it would slow their advance long enough to allow for a safe retreat and reformation outside of the town. So while the American soldiers retreated, Lieutenant Fox stationed himself on the second floor of a building in a spot that allowed him to see the approaching enemy. As the day and the enemy soldiers progressed, Fox called for the artillery to aim shells closer and closer to his position, matching the German advance. Finally, just before noon on December the 26th, Fox radioed into the Cannon Company's command post with the request that the artillery be aimed squarely at his own position. The soldier manning the radio, Lieutenant Otis Zachary, and his commanding officer then asked Fox if he knew this strike would destroy his position. Fox's reply was simply, "Fire it." Lieutenant Zachary then ordered the artillery to converge sheath, which instructed the soldiers manning the artillery to direct their fire in a line, walking it towards Fox's position until they converged on his building. Zachary later said, "That was with high explosive shells, and that's the last I heard of John Fox." In the end, the attack forced the Germans to delay their advance through the town. The American soldiers then had time to reorganize and launch a full-scale counterattack that allowed them to retake the town from German control. When the soldiers went to recover Lieutenant Fox's body and the 8 Italian soldiers who'd been killed as well, they also found the bodies of about 100 German soldiers in the wreckage. For this selfless act of bravery, Lieutenant Fox's commanding officer nominated him for the Distinguished Service Cross. However, the United States military overlooked his sacrifice, much like they overlooked the contributions of many other African-American soldiers during World War II. In fact, the US military awarded the Medal of Honor a total of 464 times due to the conflict in World War II, with 324 of those being awarded to soldiers in the Army. None of those soldiers, though, were African-American. The awards eventually did trickle in for Fox, though in 1982, some 38 years after being nominated, he was finally awarded the Distinguished Service Cross. Next up, research conducted by Shaw University in North Carolina, commissioned by the US Army, worked to uncover whether or not African-American soldiers had been unfairly denied the Medal of Honor. The results were that Shaw's team recommended the Army consider a group of 10 soldiers for the Medal of Honor. Lieutenant Fox was among those soldiers recommended, 7 of which were ultimately chosen and 6 of which were posthumously awarded the medal by President Bill Clinton in 1997. One, Vernon Baker, was actually still alive to accept this award in person. As for Fox, his medal was accepted by his widow, Arlene Marrow. Now a bonus fact. Captain America may have jumped on a fake grenade to save his fellow soldiers in training, but in real life, Lance Corporal William Carl Carpenter actually did this, although the grenade was absolutely real. On November 21st, 2010, while in Afghanistan, a grenade was thrown into his sandbagged position. Rather than run, he used his own body to shield the single other soldier with him from the blast. Miraculously, although he was severely injured, he survived. Carpenter was awarded the Medal of Honor in June of 2014. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button below and don't forget to subscribe. Brand new videos just like this every day of the week. And as always, thank you for watching.